They are an accident waiting to happen.
Stephen A, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D, Texas where we stay at. Me and the side in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. It is another Victory Sunday, and we got a few things to talk about. We definitely got a few things to talk about today. We can definitely be excited that we beat the Washington Commanders 44-22. They didn't have their three top wide receivers, so had we lost to the Commanders, I'd be a little upset. I don't know what's going on with my computer here. Let me see what's going on. Is that better? I think that's better. I think it was too much light. Or maybe I was just blinded. I'm not sure which was going on. Maybe I should put on my glasses and be able to see you guys for this Victory Sunday. How's everybody doing? I'm really excited. I mean, 44-22. The defense always seems to look better when we win. Or is it when they play better, we always win? I'm not sure which one it is. I will say this. I noticed the defensive scheme, right? And I halfway agree with it, right? So my problem beforehand was the amount of zone coverage that we were playing and it not working. There was a combination of things, right? It wasn't just the fact that we were playing zone. It was the fact that we was playing zone and it wasn't working. Because if we were playing zone and it was working, then I wouldn't have an issue, right? But we were playing zone and then the zone was not working. That's where I had an issue with. So I felt like, well, you might as well play man, because if you play man, then you can throw the ball. If they throw the ball over the top and beat us deep, we was getting beat anyway. At least you force the quarterbacks into playing perfect football. And I think that that's what our defense or our team in general has to be able to do. It has to be able to do. It's not a good defensive team, no matter how you turn around and look at it. But what we can do is we can force people to play perfect football. And if you're forcing them to play perfect football and they don't, then it's way easier to win. And I think that should be the goal that we run with for the rest of the season. Force them into throwing the perfect passes, beating us man on man, utilizing these people, the Trayvon Diggses and the Kyer Elams that we're so excited about, the Deron Blands who had another pick six today, using those guys to basically make it more difficult for teams to score. If you're going to give up a score on every drive, at least make it more difficult to score, to where they have to throw perfect passes or run perfect routes or throw tight window, throws or grind it out. I also noticed that we don't pass rush and stop the run. We do one or we do the other. And I think it has to do with passing lanes. Don't quote me on this one. I'm obviously not the defensive coordinator, but I think it has something to do with the passing lane. So if we're literally ears pinned back and going after the quarterback, then we're unable to stay in our lanes and effectively stop the run. Now, I'm not saying every team has this issue. What I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys have this issue, right? The Dallas Cowboys have an issue where if they are pass rushing, they are unable to stop the run. They can't do both. And if they're stopping the run, then they do not create a pass rush. I noticed a lot of lane integrity that forced that forced Jalen Daniels to stand back there and throw the ball. And what they gambled on was Jaden Daniels cannot throw the ball perfectly every time, right? And because we were using gap integrity, he wasn't going to be able to run all over us because we could kind of spy on him and kind of keep him from doing some of the things that we were nervous about him beating us with his legs. And I think that that's what they did. And I think that works better when we are playing man to man. And you still saw plenty of plays, including one of the plays at the end of the game, the fourth down, the last fourth down that they actually had. Man came wide open across, and this was not even one of their three best wide receivers, right? So because they were all out. So this was, another wide receiver who was still able to come wide open. By then they had Marcus Mariota in there because of the injury to Jaden Daniels, and he was unable to actually hit him with the pass. So it's not a situation where the defense is just perfect. I am simply saying I like the switch to where you're going to make people beat you, and then you're going to make them play perfect, basically offense to keep up with your offense, right? We have an offense that can put 40 points on the board almost in every game, right? So make the people keep up. Play, eventually somebody's going to make a mistake if they don't play perfect offense, then they're going to throw the ball up in the air. Deron Bland's going to get a pick six. Somebody's going to fumble. We're going to be able to recover it. Clowney's going to be able to make a play. Like, those are the things that we have to worry about because we're not a shutdown defense. So now you're playing a bend but don't break style of offense in that situation, right? You're playing you can meticulously go down the field, but eventually we're banking that you're going to make a mistake or one of our players are going to do something that's going to cause a difference in the game. And even in our close games, we'll be able to hopefully utilize our offense to actually squeak one out. And if you start to turn around, I've been talking really, really bad about losing to the Chicago Bears, but the Chicago Bears may not be the Chicago Bears. It may not be the horrible team that I thought we actually lost to. And when you start to look at that, you start to say, hey, don't look now, but the Cowboys are actually in playoff contention. They are second place in their division. 3-1 is better than 3-4, which is what the other two players get. And now the tie to Green Bay doesn't look so bad. I mean, we didn't win, but we were supposed to lose anyway. Everybody else was saying we were going to lose that game, right? We didn't lose the game. We actually tied the game. And now 3-1 sets us second in the NFC East and in a situation where we are vying for a possible playoff berth still, which means that we have an opportunity to hopefully turn this defense around and make some plays. Again, I'm not asking for or expecting a perfect defense by any means. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not talking about perfect defense. We're simply talking about playing better defense, playing middle of the road defense. And I think what we saw was good run defense today. That's what we saw. Now, good run defense is way easier when you know they're going to run the ball. Okay. 3 wide receivers out. We knew they were going to run the ball. It's way easier when you know they're going to run the ball. However, I want to say that there was a time when we knew that they were going to run the ball, right? We knew it. Sorry, trying to get the lighting and everything right. We knew they were going to run the ball, and we still could not stop it. There was a time where even if we knew that they were going to run it, we still couldn't do anything to stop it. That's not the time that we're in now. I want to hopefully be able to give an injury update at some point on Kenny Clark, because I know that he did go out. Haven't heard anything quite yet, but I'll keep my ears to the streets with that to try to find out what was going on. The offense played amazing. It is wonderful to have CD and George Pickens, and you can kind of pick your poison. And then with Cavante Turpin being back, we actually saw a little bit from Blue, even though his first run was called back. That was a good explosive run. kind of utilize or shows that we can utilize speed in our offense. And when you start to look at some of these weapons, I mean, we really do have a lot of speed in on this offense that we'll be able to utilize as the season goes on. It's going to be hard to keep up with the offense. Again, you're talking about not a perfect offensive performance by the Cowboys, but a very good offensive performance. I do have a question though when we start talking about the offense. And I put this on X a little bit earlier. Why exactly do we use Schoonmaker still? Is Brevin Spanford, is he hurt? Maybe I should look that up first, because from what I saw, and I have to go back and look at the game, but from what I saw, he's the one who gave up the safety. Him getting blown back into the end zone that caused the safety to occur. And if that's the case, I feel like we should sit him down, like literally sit him down. Like there's no reason, if we have Brevin Spanford, for us to be using Schoonmaker, especially on the end zone, back of the end zone. We need the big boys pressing forward, trying to get there. And we didn't get that today. And was a little bit disappointed from there. But I could be wrong. I may be calling him out for absolutely nothing. I'll eventually have an opportunity to look at the at least the highlights, right? I can go back and look at the highlights and see if there was something else going on. But I kind of blamed it on Schoonmaker on my first view, just the first watch of what was going on. So that's probably the biggest negative takeaway that I have as far as the offense is concerned is, why were we, doing that? We had a decent run game. Javonte Williams still playing exceptionally well. He's a bruiser type of back, which is another reason why we need to make sure that Jordan Blue gets as much, because, he'll be more prone to injuries and different things like that. We hope that doesn't happen to him this year as we're pushing for what we're pushing for. But the defense definitely played a better game today, and that again, they didn't have their top 3 wide receivers. That made it a lot easier. However, we still did what we were supposed to do. So it was the same thing when we played the Jets, and people were like, well, you just beat the Jets. Well, you're right, but we did what we were supposed to do. Again, Washington did not have their top 3 wide receivers. They should have been one-dimensional. And for the most part, we still kept them one-dimensional, and then was able to actually stop the run. Now, with that being said, I can still pick this defense apart. I mean, there were again plays that they missed, like that last 4th down play, which it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because the game was already out of hand by then. So I'm not saying that we would have, lost the game if they would have hit it or anything like that. I'm just simply saying that those type of plays that just weren't hit, there were 3 or 4 others in the game that probably could have been hit. But again, because we were playing man on man, it made those pass. We actually had contested passes. I don't think I've seen a contested pass all year long. I loved seeing it. Like, just literally them having to fight through a defensive back to make a catch. Again, that's easy to do when you're playing against all backups, but we actually did it. So I would love to be able to see next week us continue some man-on-man stuff. Let's see how our defensive backs do. Hopefully Trayvon Diggs will be back. How we do against man-on-man against their number 1 wide receivers next week, and we'll start to get on that this week a little bit more as we go. So this week we will have the return of Dallas Cowboys Fan Talk. My man Mike 360 will be back this week. We're going to be having a conversation, and that conversation a little bit about, probably tomorrow, we're going to actually be able to go through the film and have some more of a breakdown, really more of a conversation about what I saw and what I didn't see in this win against the Commanders. Again, 3-3-1 puts us in second place. And what we're hoping for is to actually be able to go 5-3-1 before the actual break, because I think we got 2 games before our break. I think that's correct. I guess I can look that up. Let's see. We ain't doing much. We should be able to look up where the actual break is, or maybe not. Maybe I lied to you. Maybe I don't know where the I don't know. Oh, here it is, right here. Here we go. You ready? It's up there. So yes, Denver and then Arizona. Those 2 games. We're hoping that we can actually win those 2 games going into the bye to kind of put us in a good situation. But this is the Cowboys, so we have to take it 1 week at a time. Next week we play Denver. We play them in Denver. There are some things that we'll have to talk about that's going to make it more difficult. Denver played a valiant game against the Giants, took it all the way to the fourth quarter. I mean, they were behind, and they took it all the way to the fourth quarter and actually won. I think the score was 33-32. I think they got a field goal at the end of the game to actually win. But man, them Giants are really, really fighting in every game. It's actually good that the Giants lost. That keeps them a little bit behind us so that they're not 3-4. So they're still squarely in last place. The Redskins, or excuse me, man, why do I keep doing that? The Commanders are 3-4. The Cowboys 3-3-1, second place of the NFC East. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, hopefully with a situation where we're talking about a little more insights to this game after I get an opportunity to watch it and watch the all 22 kind of really break down what actually happened for you guys. So I'll see you tomorrow. I heard D Will. This is Defending the Boys. I'm out.